The Vrexian armada hung in the void like a swarm of metallic locusts, their bioorganic warships pulsing with bioluminescent energy. For 3 centuries, they had conquered 17 star systems, reducing civilizations to ash and memory. Their tactical doctrine was simple: overwhelm, devastate, consume. No species had ever mounted an effective resistance. Until now. Admiral Keiko Tanaka stood on the bridge of the UNS Prometheus, humanity's first dreadnought-class vessel, her fingers drumming against the tactical display. Around her, the fleet materialized from quantum slipspace, 200 warships, each one a masterpiece of desperation and ingenuity. Humanity had spent 50 years preparing for this moment, ever since the Vrexians had glassed the colony on Proxima Centauri, killing 4 million souls in an afternoon. Enemy fleet detected, Lieutenant Marcus Chen announced, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. Configuration matches intelligence reports. 600 vessels, Class 4 and above. They're maintaining standard patrol formation. Tanaka allowed herself a cold smile. Standard formation. Predictable. The Vrexians had grown arrogant through centuries of unchallenged dominance. They expected fear, chaos, and the inevitable collapse of their opponent's will. They had no protocol for what humanity was about to unleash. Activate the Kronos array, Tanaka commanded. Deep within the Prometheus, quantum processors spun up to near-light speeds, drawing power from the ship's antimatter core. The Kronos array was humanity's most closely guarded secret, a weapon born from the fusion of quantum mechanics and temporal theory. It didn't destroy ships through conventional means. It erased them from causality itself. The Vrexian command carrier, a behemoth 3 kilometers long, suddenly registered the human fleet's presence. Alarm pheromones flooded through their biological communication network. The Hive Admiral, a creature of crystalline chitin and neural clusters, issued immediate orders: defensive formation, charge weapons, prepare boarding craft. But the orders would never be executed. A wave of distorted spacetime rippled outward from the human fleet, invisible yet devastating. As it passed through the Vrexian formation, ships began to flicker like dying stars. The phenomenon wasn't an explosion or an energy weapon, it was something far more terrifying. The Kronos array targeted the quantum probability fields that held matter together, collapsing them into states of non-existence. The first 30 Vrexian vessels simply ceased to be. Not destroyed, not vaporized, erased. One moment they occupied space, the next moment they had never been there at all. Even their light signatures vanished retroactively, as if they were being deleted from the universe's memory. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Tactical Officer Sarah Okonkwo watched her displays with clinical precision. Wave 1 successful. Target saturation, 98%. Adjusting frequency for Wave 2. The Vrexians, for the first time in their expansionist history, experienced something new: terror. Their biological networks couldn't process what was happening. Ships were vanishing without damage reports, without debris, without any logical explanation. The Hive Admiral attempted to coordinate a response, but its neural pathways were firing in contradictory patterns. How could they fight an enemy that erased reality itself? Second wave away, Chen reported. Another pulse of quantum distortion swept through the Warzone. This time, the Vrexian command carrier was caught in the effect. The massive ship's hull began to phase in and out of existence, parts of it flickering between states of being and non-being. Inside, thousands of Vrexian warriors found themselves in a nightmare of impossible physics, corridors that led nowhere, walls that existed and didn't exist simultaneously. Within 17 seconds, the command carrier was gone. 300 vessels had been erased in under 2 minutes. The remaining Vrexian fleet broke formation. Panic spread through their biological networks like a virus. Some ships attempted to flee, their faster-than-light drives spinning up. Others fired wildly into space, targeting nothing and everything. Their legendary discipline, forged through countless conquests, shattered like glass. They're routing, Tanaka observed, her expression unchanged. Pursue and eliminate. No survivors. The human fleet moved with mechanical precision. Smaller destroyers and frigates broke formation, their own weapons systems, conventional but devastatingly effective, targeting the fleeing Vrexians. Railgun projectiles, traveling at relativistic speeds, punched through bioorganic hulls. Nuclear-tipped missiles detonated in carefully calculated patterns, creating kill zones that no ship could escape. But it was the Kronos array that remained the most terrifying weapon. Every 30 seconds, another pulse erased dozens of ships. The Vrexians couldn't adapt, couldn't counter, couldn't even understand what was killing them. Their tactical database, refined through 3 centuries of warfare, contained no defense against an enemy that rewrote the rules of existence. Lieutenant Chen's voice cut through the mechanical precision of combat. "Sir," detecting a distress signal. Vrexian ship attempting to surrender. Tanaka's jaw tightened. She thought of Proxima Centauri, of the 4 million dead, of the colonies reduced to radioactive wasteland. The Vrexians had never accepted surrender. They had never shown mercy. "Negative," she said quietly. "Continue operations." The battle, if it could be called that, lasted 12 minutes total. 600 Vrexian warships entered the engagement. 0 survived. The human fleet suffered no casualties, no damage, not even a depleted energy reserve. It wasn't a battle, it was an execution. As the last Vrexian ship flickered out of existence, Tanaka stared at the empty void where an armada had once threatened humanity's survival. The tactical display showed nothing but clear space and the steady formation of human vessels. "Send the recording to all Vrexian-occupied systems," Tanaka ordered. "Let them see what happened here. Let them understand that humanity is no longer prey." The bridge crew worked in silence, uploading the battle footage to every communication channel, every data network, every possible receiver. Across dozens of star systems, Vrexian commanders would watch their most powerful fleets simply cease to exist. They would see humanity's answer to 3 centuries of conquest. The message was clear: the hunters had become the hunted. As the Prometheus turned toward the next target system, Tanaka allowed herself a moment of reflection. They had won this battle in minutes, but the war was far from over. The Vrexians controlled 17 systems, commanded thousands more ships, and possessed resources beyond calculation. But they had never faced an enemy like humanity, a species that had learned to weaponize the fabric of reality itself. The fleet engaged their quantum drives and vanished into slipspace, leaving behind nothing but empty coordinates and the ghostlight of erased ships, warnings written in the language of extinction.